On KHOU 11 News.
A Deer Park homeowner shocked after his security cameras caught a man slashing car tires in his driveway. We spoke with a family who says they have no idea who this guy is.
Plus, how local authorities are catching fentanyl dealers and putting them behind bars.
And Boeing planes ready for takeoff, the latest in the investigation into the 737 MAX 9s, weeks after a door panel flew off a plane.
But first, here on the 401, take a good look at this surveillance video right here. Deer Park police are asking for your help identifying this man. They say he slashed nearly a dozen tires.
The vandalism and the man caught on camera, multiple cameras. This happened at a home in Deer Park on Ellen Drive and Park Avenue. Michelle Choi spoke with the homeowner.
Yeah, the scariest part about all of this, the homeowner tells me he and his family have no idea who this man is and why he targeted their 3 vehicles. But he's speaking out, hoping that this guy is caught soon before he does this to anyone else. 2 days have gone by since this knife-wielding man stepped onto their driveway, but the homeowner, who's asked not to be identified for his family's safety, tells us they're still on edge.
We don't feel like safe anymore after this happened. You know, it's a quiet neighborhood.
On Wednesday around 9:40 at night, when he and his wife and 4 kids were home, he says this black SUV pulled up and a heavy-set man wearing glasses, a hoodie, light-colored pants, and holding a large knife walked up to their 3 vehicles and began puncturing the tires. Undeterred by the security cameras that captured the brazen act.
He seems like he didn't care at all. You know, because he took his time, you know, I didn't see no rush.
In total, he says the man slashed 11 tires, leaving behind $2,000 to $3,000 in damages.
I couldn't believe it, you know, how it happened, you know, why, you know. I mean, honestly, I have no enemies, you know. I have no idea, you know, like, why.
But it didn't end there. He says after the man returned to his SUV, he's caught on camera again, this time walking up to the front door, ringing the doorbell and banging on the door. The homeowner says his wife initially thought the man needed help and alerted him.
By the time I got off the shower and got dressed, he was gone. And that's when I hear, you know, all the air just coming out like psst.
That's when they called police and checked the cameras, realizing the man had been outside their home for nearly 10 minutes before finally getting back into his SUV and shouting what sounds like profanity and driving away. Grateful his family is okay, he shared this advice for other homeowners.
Just be careful before somebody, you know, answer the door.
If you recognize the man in those videos, you're asked to call Deer Park Police. Back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. KHOU 11 is continuing to press for answers about the massive mail delays in Houston.
For over a month, we've heard from thousands of you about these issues. Now another local congressman is demanding answers. Representative Troy Nails sent a letter to the U.S. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy this week asking what's behind the backlog and what's being done to fix the problem. He also asked for a congressional briefing with his staff next month. According to a longtime postal employee, a new piece of equipment too big to fit inside existing facilities is to blame. Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia is also telling us in a new statement this afternoon that she, along with Congressman Al Green, have met with Postal Service employees who say they'll be sending more workers at both processing centers in question. Now, if you're struggling with the Postal Service right now, we want to hear from you. Send us an email to mailproblems@khou.com.
All right, another thing everyone in this area is talking about is the weather. Let's check on that Friday forecast. Taking a live look first over the Galleria area. Check out that rain you can see hitting our camera there.
Yeah, meteorologist Chris Ramirez is with us. And how long is this rain going to stick around?
Well, at least for the rest of the evening. These showers quickly spawned off to the southeast there. We are expecting this showers to become heavy at times. It's going to be not as widespread, but if you're not dealing with the heavy rain, you're definitely dealing with that drizzle, and it's going to cause some wet roadways, especially on your commute home. As we look at satellite and radar, we're seeing some heavier rain activity off along the coastal areas just south of Baytown, north of the Bolivar Peninsula. There is some lightning with those storms. And then off towards the southwest of town, there's a batch of heavy rain over Needville, and and this is heading directly towards the city of Houston, and it will be here within the next 20 minutes. So definitely keep an eye out on those roadways if you are traveling within the next hour. Up to the north, mostly isolated to scattered across our northern parts there. But other than that, we are expecting these showers all associated with that low pressure system that's now spinning over North Texas. That will be moving and quickly tracking off towards the east. We are expecting this rain chance to last at least through the rest of the evening. The good news is that we are expecting it to dry out starting around the midnight hour into Saturday morning, and ultimately we are expecting a fantastic weekend with lots of sunshine. So we have just this quick batch of showers that are going to last through the evening, and then we are expecting it to clear on out going into the weekend with highs in the 60s. I'll have more details on the forecast later in the newscast. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Chris. And breaking right now, a jury is ordering former President Trump to pay an additional $83.3 million to E. Jean Carroll for calling her sexual assault allegations a lie. Today's verdict was the second time in 9 months that a jury addressed Carroll's claim that Trump assaulted her in a New York City department store back in 1996. Another jury last May found him liable for sexual abuse and ordered him to pay $5 million. This defamation trial was over things Trump said about Carroll while he was president. The former president continues to insist he was falsely accused.
About an hour ago, the DEA and the Harris County District Attorney's Office gave an update on the work the Fentanyl Overdose Task Force is doing here.
A new Texas law allows prosecutors to pursue murder charges in some fentanyl deaths. The district attorney says since that law was enacted in September, 2 murder charges have already been filed relating to fentanyl. Right now, the DEA says the task force is working on 15 cases. The father of a 25-year-old woman who died of a fentanyl overdose over a year ago spoke out this afternoon.
We need to forget about a lot of petty politics and other things, and we need to start figuring out a way to save people in this country, especially our youth.
If you're selling pills and you're causing death, we're coming after you, and we're going to put you in jail.
If convicted, dealers could face anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison. KHOU 11 Investigates documentary, One Pill Fighting Fentanyl, takes an in-depth look at the growing threat of the drug and how authorities continue to deal with the crisis. You can watch it on our streaming app, KHOU 11 Plus.
This afternoon, 3 young adults are recovering after a suspected road rage shooting on the Southwest Freeway overnight. The suspect is still on the run. Victor Jacobo tells us what happened.
A car carrying 4 people, 3 of them injured, arrived here at Memorial Hermann Southwest in the early morning hours. It was here when they called police and told them about being shot at on the Southwest Freeway.
Police say the incident happened as the victim vehicle was driving on the Southwest Freeway in the area of Hillcroft around 12:30 this morning. That's when a Toyota Tundra was allegedly tailgating the victim car.
That truck pulled over next to him on the passenger side, rolled down the window. Our victims rolled down their window. It doesn't seem like there was a lot of words exchanged. All of a sudden, our driver pulled out a pistol and started shooting into their car.
3 of the people in the victim car were struck, including a 19-year-old male who was shot in the head area. He had to go into surgery in critical condition. 2 women, one 18 and one 19 years old, were also shot, one in the leg and one in the knee. The people in the victim car said they were bowling earlier in the evening in Humble and making their way across town to a restaurant in Southwest Houston. The driver was not injured and drove to Memorial Hermann Southwest and called police. HPD gave a description of the suspect.
Our suspect is believed to be a middle-aged Hispanic male that was driving the Tundra, possibly a female or male in the passenger side of that truck.
Police say the alleged suspect remains on the run as the investigation continues. Reporting outside Memorial Hermann Southwest, Victor Jacobo, KHOU 11 News.
In other top stories this afternoon, 2 men are now in custody for their alleged role in the January 6th Capitol riot.
This week, Timothy Tedesco surrendered to authorities in Corpus Christi, and Duong Liu was arrested by FBI agents in Houston. According to court documents, investigators tracked down Liu through a search warrant on Google to find addresses of people inside the building during the riots. He was first interviewed in the summer of 2021 at his job, where he gave investigators selfies on Capitol grounds. He also sent videos that he took inside of the officers at the Capitol. He's facing 4 charges, including disorderly conduct.
A driver is expected to face charges after a police chase ended in a crash last night in North Harris County. The sheriff's office says it all started when officers tried to pull over the driver at a parking lot takeover. We're told he hit a light pole, causing the pickup truck to flip over on the feeder road of the Hardy Toll Road near Aldine. The passenger in the truck was okay, but firefighters had to struggle to free the driver. The Street Racing Task Force has a message for reckless drivers.
Stop doing it. Just drive like a normal human being. It's pretty simple, but these guys want to come out and be reckless and put others in danger. It's a bad situation for all motorists.
And that driver is facing at least one felony charge of evading.
New at 4, the accused gunman in the 2018 Santa Fe High School shooting was again found incompetent to stand trial. His attorney told us today the judge will recommit Dimitrios Pagorchis to the North Texas State Mental Health Hospital for another year. Until his competency is restored, the criminal cases against him in state and federal courts remain in limbo. Pagorchis is charged with the murders of 8 students and 2 teachers.
Some people living in the East End tell us there's been a spike in traffic, panhandling, and crime since Greyhound closed its Midtown station and expanded to their neighborhood. They took their concerns to local lawmakers who said they want to see more security along Harrisburg Boulevard east of Wayside.
In the next hour, family, friends, and colleagues will pay their respects to LaPorte Police Chief Doug Dietrich. He passed away over the weekend in a tree trimming accident in East Texas. Dietrich has been on the force since 1997 and was promoted to chief last May. A visitation is being held this evening from 5 to 7 at the Clayton Funeral Home. His funeral service is tomorrow afternoon at the LaPorte Bulldog Center. Some of Alaska Airlines' Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets are back in flight this afternoon. This comes 3 weeks since a door panel on an Alaska jet blew out mid-flight. As Chris Van Cleve reports, federal inspections found other planes had loose bolts too.
NTSB investigators will return to Boeing's 737 MAX plant today as another team in Washington continues a forensic examination of the door panel that blew out, trying to determine if the 4 bolts that should have held the door in place were installed. That work happening as questions swirl over anonymous posts purportedly from a current Boeing employee and a detailed report in the Air Current alleging during final production, Boeing accessed the door panel that eventually blew off in order to make repairs to the fuselage. Boeing declined to comment, but if that work occurred, those bolts would have had to been removed. After the blowout, they remain unaccounted for.
It was open, but it was never clear if the door was closed and closed sufficiently with the bolts put back. And that seems to be one of the key moments in all of this in terms of understanding where the failure was.
A rare sight Thursday, the 737 production line halted as part of a day-long safety stand-down to allow workers to focus on improving quality control.
We, the Boeing company, are under a tremendous amount of scrutiny, and what I will say is rightly so.
Alaska and United Airlines anticipate inspections on their MAX 9 fleets to take a matter of days, but winning back the public's trust may not be as fast.
Each plane has to be individually inspected, so return to service for Alaska and United will be gradual. United expects its first scheduled MAX 9 flight on Sunday. Both airlines say passengers who don't want to fly on a MAX 9 will be allowed to change to another flight without any additional cost. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Chicago.
As your education station, KHOU 11 is partnering with the Greater Houston Frontiers Club to help make college a reality for deserving students.
We need your help raising money for the MLK Junior Memorial Scholarship Fund. Your donation will help provide $2,000 scholarships to more than 40 students in our area.
It's an honor to me to be a Greater Houston Frontiers Club scholarship recipient because I know that there is someone else out there who believes in me. I'm grateful to have their support financially and as mentors and people that I can come back and talk to because they're supporting me in my dream.
All right, here's how you can help students with the high cost of college tuition. Scan the QR code on your screen to make a donation. We thank you in advance for helping us stand for Houston.
Great cause there. All right, let's take a live look outside now. Okay, it's been gloomy this afternoon. Yeah, but at least it's Friday. Some people are getting rain right now. Chris Ramirez is back with us.
Yeah, Chris, some rain today, but the good news this weekend's still looking good.
Yes, a fantastic weekend expected. Mostly sunny skies.
Yay.
Those temperatures in the 60s. So not too hot, not too cold. We are going to see.
I'll take it.
Yes, definitely. But if you are heading out right now, roadways are becoming wet, all thanks to those trailing showers across southeast Texas. So definitely expecting those conditions to remain mostly wet through at least the 12 a.m. hour. As we take a look right now, Bush Airport at 62 degrees, Galveston 59, Sugar Land at 63, Huntsville at 60 with Conroe at 62. So weekend forecast Saturday looking rather cooler as we go into the next few days. We're going to see those highs in the 60s, sunny and cool for Sunday, but those overnight lows are going to be dropping into the 50s and 40s through the weekend. Looking at radar right now, there is some areas that are receiving some heavier rainfall, and if you're not receiving any rain, you're definitely dealing with the drizzle. There is an area just to the southwest of Houston where we are seeing some of those showers actually are about to move in towards downtown Houston, and so we expect the rain to become a bit heavy, at least within the next 15 to 20 minutes, as this batch of heavy showers could make it into Sugar Land by 4:25, 4:34 Missouri City, even hitting Hobby Airport by 4:45. So this rain still in the forecast. The rainfall a little bit more scattered to isolated to our northern areas, but we're still seeing those heavy showers. So hit or miss heavy showers, but the drizzle to continue through the night. Futurecast showing this rainfall lasting through the evening hours, and then it's going to be wrapping up by the midnight hour. There's going to be a surge of dry air that's going to be making its way across southeast Texas that will dry things out. That rainfall just coming to an abrupt end by the 2 a.m. hour. So if you're heading out Saturday morning, it is going to be quite breezy behind this dry front that's going to be moving through, and so expect those temperatures to be a bit on the cooler side with highs in the mid to low 60s. There is some areas of concern with our area waterways, so those streams and rivers north of Houston are still dealing with some flooding. So if you are in and around those locations, keep in mind that even though we saw this rain about 2 to 3 days ago, these are still causing some issues as all that water from upstream has to flow into the Gulf of Mexico. So of course, my producer's telling me that Lake Conroe opening by sunrise for tomorrow, but we are seeing some issues with San Jacinto River at Humble, as well as the San Bernard River and the Brazos River. So winds are also going to be gusty for tomorrow, so that dry air is going to cause conditions to dry out fairly fast, but expect those gusts to be about 25 to 30 miles an hour with those winds out of the north. So that front just really not giving us all that cooler temperatures. We're just going to continue to see those conditions remain mostly wet for this evening. So this weather system is going to quickly track off towards the east. That is going to be be replaced by a high pressure system with sunny and cool conditions for the weekend. And then we're going to have this high that's just going to linger here through much of next week. And we were expecting a quiet stretch into next week. So a very good break from the weather extremes that we've been dealing with for the past few days. Temperatures on the warmer side, highs in the 60s, upper 60s by the end of the week. But as we look at the next 7 days, expect those temps to continue to be on the chilly side if you head into the overnight and morning hours. So lows dropping into the 50s and 40s. There's going to be another frontal system that's going to make its way through on Sunday into Monday. So we could see some 30-degree temps heading into the start of next week with overnight lows in the 40s by Tuesday. But the good news is that we are expecting those afternoons to be quite fantastic with highs in the upper 60s, as well as increasing clouds for this next weekend. But we very well could see another weather system bring some showers back in the forecast as we head into Friday.
Main thing is this weekend is awesome.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Hey, that's it for the digital version of us at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, for now, here's what we're working on for KHOU 11 News at 5.
Caught on camera, a customer carjacked outside this beauty supply store in broad daylight. Only on KHOU 11 News at 5. Hear how the victim says it happened after one of 4 suspects asked him for a cigarette before allegedly pulling out a gun.